What's up, everyone? Drunken Phoenix here, and I have an announcement. I didn't think it was going to come down to this. I didn't think that I had to be the one to run the country, but I'm running for president in 2028 because apparently there's nobody good with integrity left, nobody that wants to have some real change, and things are just crappy right now, I should say. So I guess I'm the one that gotta run the country. I didn't think I would have to be the one to do it. But all jokes aside, I'm going to be reacting to some cost of living videos today. Admittedly, some of these videos are a little bit older and are prior to 2025, but they are on brand with what's going on right now in the economy. This whole tariff situation is a joke, honestly. But I don't want to get too political. But basically, things right now are just a little chaotic for a lot of Americans. A lot of people are not able to, afford, or can barely afford to get by. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. You guys can see this gentleman in the video is eating 2 hot dogs for dinner. So take that way you will. And also, if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I try to make 2 or 3 videos a week. I was absent for the past week because the last week of March I was in Miami for Miami Music Week, which I had a great time, but after that I got sick. I was sick with I don't know if it was a cold, but I had a few fevers. But I'm back. So anyway, with no further ado, I want to go ahead and get started with these videos.
This is the 3rd night in a row that I've had 2 hot dogs for dinner, totaling $1.87. And I'm not doing this because I'm investing in a future and I'm saving money. I'm eating hot dogs for dinner because I have no money, because I was stupid with my money. And people post their nice things because they want to inspire other people. They're like, you could live this lavish life too. No, I want to post my broke boy lifestyle to inspire you to not be dumb with your money. Stop fucking flexing. Stop eating the steak that's $75. Stop saying yes to every goddamn social event. Stop buying really cool Paul Giamatti t-shirts. And just freaking live below your means, man, because this shit sucks.
Okay. I don't know if he's the best example of the cost of living. I guess he was kind of alluding to his own personal experience with his past spending. But still, I mean, I don't care how much you spend. If you're having to eat 2 hot dogs for dinner for how much did he say, $1.89 a night? That's not good. That's not. We should. Regardless, we could make mistakes with our spending, but at the same time, we still deserve to live in an economy where we can have a decent dinner. You know what I'm saying? Granted, I am kind of tempted to try that because I will say one of the things I spend a lot of money on. I do spend a lot of money on, not a lot, but more than I should on food. But I'm very cheap when it comes to everything else. The only thing I spend money on is basically just food and music festivals. But anyways, the next video
has gotten so expensive that Waffle House prices have doubled over just the past 5 years. And prices at IHOP have almost done the exact same with
Okay, so before I finish this video, this guy is absolutely correct. I go to Waffle House. I like to go every now and then. I go maybe once every 2 weeks or so. And I usually eat it for dinner. But I usually get the All-Star special, and I remember back when I was in college, which was back in, how long ago was it? 6-7 years ago I was in college. 10 years ago. Anyway, several years ago when I was in college, we would go to Waffle House. I'd get the All-Star special, and it always came up to $7 or $8. You guys, no joke, I went there, the last time I went there, which was maybe within the past month, for the same All-Star special, it came up to $17. And that's not even with me eating sitting down. Apparently they charge the fee for the price of eggs, as well as they charge a fee if you're doing to go, they just automatically charge a $20 surcharge for whatever reason. But even that aside, just the price alone of the meal itself still has went up. So that is really freaking crazy because the prices have doubled, and I'm pretty sure that for most of us, our salaries have not double. Well, mine did, but still, it's ridiculous.
Increases of 82%. Texas Roadhouse, TGI Fridays, Applebee's, Cheesecake Factory, Hooters, and Chili's have all increased their prices by almost half in the past 5 years. So it's little wonder that people are refusing to go out to eat anymore. It is just too expensive. And no, you cannot blame the cost of all these price increases on the cost of eggs alone. If the price to eat out continues to increase at this rate, expect a lot more chains to start folding and declaring bankruptcy soon, because this is sustainable and the American consumer is tapped out. Mark my words, the next place that you will see buy now, pay later services like Klarna will be at restaurants like Chili's and Applebee's. To all these restaurant chains for the exorbitant price increases over the past 5 years, you just made the D3 List, a podcast about dumb, desperate, and diabolical business decisions.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
So I wanted to include this video with this girl because she's talking about her 401k and how, I guess it was, it went down a lot because, the tariffs and just, I think I included this because I think it's just really unfortunate that I feel like the leadership in our country, this current administration, and I'm nonpartisan. I don't consider myself a Democrat or a Republican. I consider myself the common sense party, so that's what I'll be running for in 2028. But it seems like there's just no regard for just the average American. I feel like he's been really reckless with these tariff announcements and just not diplomatic at all. Could there be benefits to tariffs? It's really, from my research and from what I know, it's really just a gamble, and in the way that he's doing it, most likely not. But let's just say there is. Let's just say there's some type of benefit. The way that just putting a tariff on every single thing and just on every single country and just being this reckless is not it, because you really affect real people. Like, there are several people that wanted to be able to retire this year, and now they can't because the stock market crashed and their 401k and retirement has been heavily reduced. And things are just really unpredictable, and people are even, there's a lot of talks of a potential recession. People are going to lose their jobs, possibly. Well, people have lost their jobs, and probably more people are going to lose their jobs. Things are going to get higher for everybody. It is going to affect the low class and middle class the most. So I guess I included this because I personally am upset with how things are going, because I feel like there's just no regard for the average American. And I don't think that the so-called goal, I don't think that it's just going to be just easy to just get manufacturing jobs here in America like that. I don't think we even have the infrastructure, like the manufacturing infrastructure for that to happen. You have to also consider how much are you going to pay the workers. Like, Americans are going to want to get a decent wage, so that's not really going to equal cheaper products. And like, what industries again, this is not supposed to be a political, but this is just, I'm just talking about what's going on. So let's move on.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
I make $150,000 a year as a single income earner. I live paycheck to paycheck. I have no retirement. I have no savings. And it sucks. And I work 24/7. Farm Girl Nerd here has a great quote though. She says, "You must gain control over your money or the lack of it will forever control you." And I am living proof of this statement. I'm in massive debt. And it was not overnight. It happened over an 11-year span. When I tell you that I live paycheck to paycheck, it is not an exaggeration. This is why budgeting is so important. I was in an abusive relationship for many years and I was controlled. Budgeting feels very controlling to me, when in reality, all it is telling you where to put your dollars. It's interesting because as I'm going through this journey of getting out of debt, the more and more I realize that I am human and I have made mistakes. but I am taking control of those actions. And one day I will control my money. Right now I don't. Every single penny goes to minimum payments, and it sucks. And that doesn't even include rent and mortgage. I have the day off work today, and I'm outside hustling to pay for life. Budget, people, and actually apply the budget.
Okay, I'm very curious to know what that girl does for a living. To making $150 a year, that's pretty good. And I mean, she's very lucky that she makes that much, because apparently her debts are nothing to brag about. So, I think that honestly is more of an issue of just not of being irresponsible with money, because $150 a year is pretty good. And I would say in most places, like even in a place like New York and California, I mean, it's not. Of course, you won't be able to have as much disposable income, but $150, that's still a decent amount in those states. So I'm curious to know what she does for a living and what the hell does she spend her money on, So that's more so her problem, not really with the economy. But let's continue.
How can we afford an $80,000 house? Very simple. Over 30 years, just a trifle down payment, and a pittance of a mortgage, and 2 living parents with a pen. Who can sign?
So that clip was from Boy Meets World, and that episode aired in 1999, and I couldn't help myself, so I had to run the numbers. The show took place in Philly, and I saw that the median house price was around $80,000 in 1999. Now, Corey and Topanga were high school students without a job, so they couldn't qualify, but what about the median household income back then? It's $40,000, which is about $3,300 a month, and a 3% down payment on the median house was only $2,400. So somebody in Philly in 1999 didn't even have to save 1 month's income to put a down payment on this house, and the interest rates were around 7%, just like they are today. So with principal, interest, property taxes, insurance, and private mortgage insurance, the total payment was $750 a month to get the median house in Philly, and you're making $3,300, so that's about what, 25%? So a family making 40 grand could take care of their entire mortgage in just 1 week. And then I wanted to see, well, let's just see what happened to the prices in Philadelphia, because we know the averages around the country, but let's look at Philly. $80,000 was the median price in 1999. It's now $250,000, so below the average for the nation, but the income was $40,000 for the median household. Now it's $60,000. So the housing price, even in Philly, went up over 200% in the last 25 years, but the income only went up 53%. So even in smaller cities, metro cities, no matter where we look, I don't think I have found a city in America where the housing and income was even close to keeping up.
Okay, I'm convinced that this stuff is rigged. Like, that just does not make sense, and those figures are not surprising to me. I've seen several reports or articles and things talking about how the cost of living is rapidly outpacing the rate of the cost of living is rapidly outpacing how much money we're making. But I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like I said, you guys, the issue is not Democrat or Republican. The issue is not illegal immigration. I mean, illegal immigration could be an issue, but I'm saying the main issue is the cost of living and the growing gap between the rich and the poor. That's the big issue, because this shit's rigged.
Is really expensive. For example, I need a new used car, but I can only afford a car that's about the $2,000 to $3,000 range. I can't really afford anything from a dealership or to get an auto loan. After scrimping and saving and looking at cars for months and months, cars that had all sorts of crap wrong with them, I found one that seemed like okay and seemed like trustworthy people to buy from. I went over to them, checked out the car, gave them my hard-earned money, and then on the way home I had a blowout. And then after I had a tow truck, a very expensive tow truck because I can't afford to have AAA, tow me to a repair shop, I get told that 3 out of the 4 tires need to be replaced. And also the wheel well that's holding one of the tires on is messed up and that needs to be fixed. So now this cheap car has cost me an extra $400. And then driving it home from the repair shop, the blinkers go out. Plus a myriad of other problems with this car that I don't know about yet. Money that I don't really have, that I've been saving for months in order to have a car that I thought would be reliable and take me around town. Because I never will be able to afford a new car. And that's just one of many examples on how poor people having to buy lower quality stuff means that they spend more money over time maintaining that shitty stuff or buying more of that shitty stuff than someone who could just buy the nicer thing.
Hey y'all, today I'm going to show y'all what it looks like to live inside of an extended stay hotel for over a year. As we make entry into our room, you will see that it is a compact space. The kitchen is equipped with a microwave, a cooktop stove, all of our healthy snacks. There is a white full-size refrigerator filled with all of our goodies. Now, this hotel doesn't offer complimentary breakfast. It does have coffee. Housekeeping comes every other week on a Tuesday. This is the bathroom. It's filled with all of our essentials.
I have to say, this lady, she really made this hotel her home. I'm surprised that hotels let you do that you can stay, like she said, for over a year. I'm surprised that you can stay there for over a year. I know I would be sleeping with one eye open every night because I would always be thinking in the back of my head, like, are they going to kick me out one day? But, you know, I mean, unfortunately, you know, I guess she's going through rough times and it's cheaper to stay at a hotel for her. But, I mean, it looks pretty comfortable. It looks cozy, you know. But, yeah, let's keep watching.
And another thing that I like to note too is that the hotel charges extra for linen and towels. So we brought our own sheets and blankets and towels, you know, too, to make it feel a little bit more homey. We have 2 queen-size beds with storage underneath. We have a floating nightstand that the kids use to store their Chromebooks and their books for independent reading. Again, there's more storage under the bed. This is like an open closet, cubby style. We have a flat screen TV that works occasionally. We have state-of-the-art wall art. There's a desk that we use as a dining table, a place to prepare food. Also, the kids use it for homework space. And this is just an overall view of just what the room looked like. I like to keep the room on cold. And this is just me backing up to the window so you can get a feel of the space. Hi, Aiden. Don't be shy.
Hot take, and I'm not judging because I literally was in this situation like a few months ago. I cannot fathom paying $1,000 a month to live with 3 other people. It literally bothers me that rent prices have gotten so insane that you're gonna pay $4,000 for a tiny ass unit. So like, for example, the situation I was in was I graduated college, I got a full-time job. It was downtown, and so there wasn't a lot of options, and I couldn't afford to live by myself. So I had to live with like 3 other college students. I paid $1,000 to live with 3 girls. Keep in mind, our unit was tiny. I could not fit like literally anything in my room. I was like crammed. I've learned like how to be a minimalist now because like I had no room in that apartment. My walking pad was like literally right next to my bed. Like there was no privacy. But I'm just not understanding like how people are graduating college and like moving out on their own, trying to be independent, trying to like stream away from their parents. And you're gonna tell me that it costs $1,000 to live with 3 other people. So obviously, if I didn't live with 3 other people, I'd be paying $2,000 in rent. $2,000. Keep in mind that that doesn't include any other bill you have, on top of the fact that that is literally like half of what you make. The math like doesn't make sense in my brain. And the fact that now I live in a lot less busy area and the rent is still expensive as fuck. I don't live anywhere near where I go to school. I drive there every day and the rent is still fucking ass crack expensive. When I moved into this apartment, we didn't even have a washer and dryer. Like, what do you mean? Like, and this is not me being a brat. Like, get fucking better rent prices. No wonder.
Okay, this girl, I'm not sure where she lives at. It sounds, from the way she's describing it, it almost sounds similar. It sounds as if she's living in New York, when she mentions that she had no washer and dryer. That would be a big no-brainer to me. One thing, I get what she's saying. Sometimes, you know, staying with your parents could be a great thing to do financially after you graduate from college. But one thing to consider, I mean, first of all, I am completely biased, but I think it's nothing. There's nothing like having your own place. And even if it's not, even if you have to have roommates, it's still just, I think it's a big sense of accomplishment to just, you know, be able to still have your own living space as an adult leaving your parents. I think that's a very invaluable experience. Maybe that's the American in me. But another thing to consider, so for me personally, so I ended up moving to Florida because in my hometown, I was actually in Florida. How long was I? I was in Florida for 6 years now. But anyway, but in my hometown, there's very, very limited job opportunities. Like, there's not a lot of industry going on. It's growing a little bit, but you know, I had to move because most jobs that were in my field were, you know, outside of my state or outside of my hometown. So, and I wanted to move to Florida. I like Florida. But yeah, so that's something to consider. Like, everybody doesn't have that luxury to stay with their parents after they graduate. So I don't know. And some people just want to be grown and just, you know, not having to live under their parents' rules anymore.
People are living in their parents' basement. Like, this is why. Oh, not to mention I had 2 sources of income too.
I need somebody to tell me why my husband went to purchase a 7-pack of underwear yesterday. He needs new underwear. Probably hasn't purchased them in, like, I don't know, years. You know how it is. Tell me why that package of underwear was $42. $42. I was flabbergasted. $42 for 7 pairs of underwear. If I didn't believe before that inflation is real, I sure do now.
I don't know where she lives at, but that's actually not bad. $42 for 7 underwear. I guess she was right when she said that her husband did not buy underwear in years, because that's like a normal price. I'll spend, like, on average for me, based on the brand that I get, I'll spend like $20 for just 3. So yeah, I don't know why she's so shocked. But yeah, but that's it for the videos that I'm reacting to for today. Let me know you all's thoughts. How are you guys doing in this economy? Are you guys doing pretty decent? Are you guys doing, you know, not so good? Do you feel like you have to kind of adjust your spending? Because I personally do feel, only because of a lot of economic uncertainty and just the way that the current administration is going about things. Things are very unpredictable. So I do feel even for myself, I have to be a little bit more conscientious of my spending, and just, you know, there's some things that I did want to do later in the year that, you know, I still may do, but I might have to, you know, just reconsider a few things. Like, I really want to go to my trip to Italy this fall, but I'm just, you know, I don't want to. If I don't want to go there, if it's I just need to see how the economy does until then. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel and leave me your comments in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video.